What if the story you've been told is only half the truth? What if behind the flashing police lights, the loud sirens, and the chaos of a violent encounter, there lies another version of reality, a version you were never meant to see? In today's world, where words can be twisted and stories can be manipulated, the unblinking eye of a body-worn camera has become both a witness and a judge. And in some of the most shocking violent encounters, body cam footage has not only revealed the truth, but also rewritten history. This is not just about technology. This is about lives saved, reputations destroyed, and justice either restored or denied, all because of a lens strapped to an officer's chest. Welcome to today's video, where we uncover the chilling realities behind violent encounters through body camera footage. These cameras, once introduced as a tool for accountability, have now become central characters in courtrooms, news reports, and public debates. Stick with us as we take you through real-life cases where body cams revealed shocking truths. And before we dive deep, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, and drop your thoughts in the comments below, because the conversations we start here can change the way justice is served tomorrow. The birth of the body cam era. The idea of strapping cameras onto police officers began as a simple proposal for transparency. Communities demanded answers, courts demanded evidence, and politicians promised accountability. By the early 2010s, many police departments across the US and Europe had already adopted body cams as standard equipment. The promise was clear: no more relying solely on officer testimony or shaky cell phone videos. Instead, a neutral witness would be present in every encounter. But soon, this technology became more than just a witness. It became a weapon, one that could exonerate or incriminate, depending on what it captured. Case 1. The traffic stop that turned deadly. In 2015, a routine traffic stop in South Carolina shook the nation. Officer Michael Slager pulled over Walter Scott, a 50-year-old man, for a broken tail light. The situation escalated when Scott ran from his vehicle. What followed was a tragic confrontation. At first, the official story suggested that Scott had grabbed the officer's taser, threatening his life. Without body cam or bystander footage, the narrative could have ended there. But a passerby recorded the horrifying truth. Scott was shot multiple times in the back while fleeing, unarmed. While this particular footage wasn't from a body cam, it set the tone for why such cameras were urgently needed. Departments across America raced to implement body cams to prevent one-sided stories. And in the years that followed, many shocking truths emerged, truths that only body cams could reveal. Case 2. The domestic call that turned into a life-or-death struggle. In Phoenix, Arizona, officers responded to what they thought was a standard domestic violence call. The house was quiet, almost too quiet. As the officer approached, his body cam recorded every detail: the trembling hands, the nervous voice of a woman inside, and then the sudden explosion of violence as her partner lunged out with a weapon. The footage captured the officer's split-second decision to fire his weapon, saving the woman's life. Without the body cam, this incident might have been lost in conflicting testimonies. But the video proved beyond doubt that the officer's actions were necessary. This was one of the early examples where body cams didn't just hold police accountable, they also protected them from false accusations. Case 3. The arrest that sparked a national debate. One of the most discussed body cam revelations came during the George Floyd protests. In Minneapolis, after Floyd's death, the world relied heavily on bystander footage that captured Derek Chauvin kneeling on Floyd's neck. But months later, when body cam footage from other officers was released, it provided additional context. It didn't erase the brutality, nor did it absolve Chauvin. Instead, it revealed the full sequence: the officers' conversations, their escalating frustration, and the desperate cries of a man whose words, "I can't breathe," became a global chant. The body cam footage not only strengthened the case against Chauvin, but also reminded the world that while eyewitness videos capture the outside view, body cams show the inside, the unfiltered perspective of the officers themselves. Case 4. The wrongful arrest exposed. Not all revelations were about violence justified. In a Midwestern town, A man was wrongfully arrested for assaulting an officer during a bar fight. The police report claimed he had resisted violently, forcing officers to use excessive force. But when the defense attorney demanded body cam footage, the truth emerged. The man had complied, hands up, asking questions. The officers, fueled by adrenaline and assumption, escalated unnecessarily. The body cam showed every word, every movement, proving his innocence. This footage didn't just free a man, it exposed a culture of exaggeration and bias that might have otherwise gone unchallenged. The debate, truth or just another angle? While body cams have been hailed as truth-tellers, they are not without controversy. Critics argue that footage can still be manipulated, cropped, muted, or released selectively. A camera points in only one direction. It doesn't capture everything happening outside its frame. Moreover, officers sometimes fail to turn them on, accidentally lose footage, or face no penalties for failing to comply. In these cases, the absence of video becomes as telling as the footage itself. Yet, despite flaws, body cams remain one of the strongest tools for accountability. They might not show every angle, but they show enough to challenge lies, uncover patterns, and spark investigations that might never have happened otherwise. Humanizing both sides. Another unexpected impact of body cam footage is its ability to humanize both victims and officers. Viewers see the fear in an officer's eyes during a split-second decision. They hear the trembling voice of a suspect pleading for mercy. They watch families break down during domestic calls, where officers aren't just enforcers of the law, but also mediators, therapists, and sometimes shields. This dual perspective doesn't excuse brutality, but it does complicate our understanding of violent encounters. It reminds us that truth is rarely black and white. It is often found in the gray areas captured by these cameras. The broader impact on justice. Courtrooms across the world now rely heavily on body cam footage. Jurors watch it as if it were a movie, dissecting every movement, every word, every second. Prosecutors and defense attorneys know that one clip can make or break a case. Meanwhile, communities watch these videos online, often before trials even begin. Public opinion forms instantly, demanding justice, shaping protests, and sometimes even influencing jury pools. In this way, body cams are no longer just tools for accountability. They are instruments shaping democracy itself. The rise of body-worn cameras has reshaped the way the world sees violent encounters. For decades, what happened in the tense, chaotic seconds of a confrontation was often left to interpretation. Officers wrote reports, victims gave statements, and the truth floated somewhere in between. But with the advent of body cams, those blurred lines began to sharpen. The camera became a silent witness, capturing not just the clash of violence, but also the humanity, the fear, the hesitation, and sometimes the failures of both sides. We've seen how body cams have cleared innocent citizens from false charges, protected officers from fabricated claims, and exposed abuses of power that would otherwise remain hidden. In courtrooms, they've become some of the most powerful pieces of evidence, changing verdicts and even altering the way laws are enforced. In the public eye, they've fueled movements for accountability, sparked debates about justice, and forced entire police departments to rethink their training and conduct. Yet, the presence of body cams does not guarantee absolute truth. Footage can still be incomplete, context can still be debated, and the responsibility to release recordings transparently often falls into the hands of the very institutions under scrutiny. This paradox reminds us that while technology brings us closer to truth, it still requires integrity, accountability, and vigilance from society to ensure it is used fairly. Ultimately, the story of body cams is about more than technology. It's about trust. Trust between citizens and law enforcement, trust in the justice system, and trust in the idea that truth, no matter how uncomfortable, must come to light. Violent encounters will always exist, but with every blinking red light on an officer's chest, there is hope that the narrative will no longer be written in shadows. Instead, it will be captured, preserved, and judged by the unflinching eye of a camera. A reminder that truth matters, and the world is always watching. If this deep dive into the hidden truths of body cam footage gave you a new perspective, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with others, and drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe body cams have truly changed justice, or are they just another piece of technology open to manipulation? Let's talk about it below.